What's up? This is your host Non-Fungible TC and Non-Fungible today and Non-Fungible tomorrow. And the UK is officially in a recession. So the UK finance minister announced tax hike and spending cuts, say country is in recession. Okay, so usually when does a country or when does a place go into recession? Well, when the official says they are in a recession, right? Because technically the definition sometimes do not really define recession in the headlines. For example, the US had a negative GDP for more than 2 quarters, but the US say they are not in a recession, right? But if the US officials do say that the US is in a recession, then the headlines and stuff like that will say it is in a recession, right? So the UK is now officially in a recession. So the government on Thursday unveiled a sweeping fiscal plan aimed at gapping whole the public financing and restoring British economic credibility. Finance Minister, Jeremy Hunt, in his hotly anticipated inauguration autumn statement, outlined spending cuts. So there's, cutting down the budget and raising the interest rate hike. Right? No, sorry, not the interest rate, but the tax hike, right, worth 55 billion, right? So it means that they're increasing taxation. I think tax hike, yeah. So the measures will increase financial hardship on millions of Britons as they confront the city's worst cost of living crisis in decades and its longer ever recession. Okay. So now the Downs has just opened 300 points lower as rising yield spot recession fear. So not only in the UK you have recession, you're in the US you also have a recession. So what is recession? According to US, right? A recession is defined as negative economic growth for 2 consecutive quarters. Okay. So, traditional news, things are bad. The UK is now officially in a recession. So if you look at this, UK inflation moved up a record 11.1% in October. Meanwhile, the Bank of England remains far behind the curve with a rate of 3%. So what it means is that if the banks are not raising interest rate hike fast enough, like the US, the inflation rate is going to keep going up, right? But if the bank raise interest rate higher, it means that you're borrowing money for a higher cost. People's spending money, spending will go lower, right? So if spending is lower, when the demand for a certain thing is much lower, hopefully the supply will, the cost of the supply will be much lower, right? So that's one of the way how they want to control inflation. But to be honest, it is very difficult. Regardless, I think there's a lot of things that are contributing to this recession. It could be inflation, it could be, the pandemic and so on, right? So yeah, I just want to share this with you guys. So if you look at this, but at the same time, it doesn't mean everything is negative, right? Just saying, Eurozone inflation reached 10.6%, lower than expectation. Yeah, it is lower than expectation, lower than the UK inflation rate, but still, it is very high at 10.6%. Just imagine buying something last year and this year is much more higher by 10%. And that is a significant increase when it comes to the rise of the cost of living and so on, right? So anyways, guys, this is just headlines I want to share with you. Be careful because, things are not coming down, right? The market is not coming down. And also the crypto world, wow, crazy, right? FTX. So that's why I'm not going to talk about FTX. Yes, I know Sam Bankman-Fried was, saying stuff to the Vox media. There has been leaks about his interview with Vox Media or like the Twitter messages, but I'm not going to talk about that. We have enough of that. But in fact, there is so much in the world, in the wider world, that's more important than that, right? So if you look at the schedule today, nothing really much is gonna shake markets for today and tomorrow. But tomorrow we do have ECB's President Lagarde speak, so maybe she'll talk about inflation in the Eurozone. Oh, lower than expected, maybe slightly better. We do not know. But crypto space right now, guys, look at this, right? 822 billion, a 0.65% decrease. Bitcoin at 16,492, Ethereum at 1,192, right? So broken the 1,200 range for Ethereum. Stable coins is down. So in general, overall, money is leaving the market. If you look at this, let us look at Bitcoin dominance. Wow, Bitcoin dominance is spiking up. Ethereum is slowly climbing down. So what it means is that smart money is going back to Bitcoin. But at the same time, a short period of time, the money is going to Bitcoin because the fluctuation in the dollar wise affects less compared to lower value coins, right? If your lower value coins, you have a high percentage when it goes up and down, right? But for Bitcoin, because it's much more safer, right? And there's also a limited amount of Bitcoin compared to other altcoins that has an emission schedule, right? So what is smart money doing, right? Smart money is actually going to USDC. Look at this, right? In the last 24 hours, but also WAP Ethereum, but mainly stable coins in general. So it really shows you that the market is kind of risky right now. NFT, Rare Pass is actually doing quite well. I saw that they have a 4+ or something. Haven't really dig deep into this, but Azuki is doing quite well as well. Surprised not to see Puggy Penguins, right? I'm going to share more about NFT news today, actually. So, moving on, crypto news. Former L1 liquidated funds complete absence of trustworthy financial information at FTX. Australia's biggest stock exchange shelves blockchain project was up 70 million. Okay. So not good, right? So El Salvador starts buying 1 Bitcoin every day, says President Bukele. So the El Salvador president is now going to continue to buy Bitcoin, right? Even though the price is down. Bangkok Compute North sells 1.55 million in asset to flare gas Bitcoin miner. So it's a bankrupt crypto mining data center has sold some of its asset to another mining company, right? Avalanche founder says company has very little exposure to FTX. So yeah, they just want to share that, hey, we have nothing to do with them. Voyager shocked, disgruntled, dismayed by FTX bankruptcy as crypto lender searches for another buyer. So Voyager, they actually, I remember they went bankrupt and FTX was gonna bail them out, but now they cannot. So now they have to find another buyer. So NFT news, guys. If you look at this, I actually did a video about NFT Go yesterday. Definitely check it out about the new version 2 or join the loyalty program. But in general, look at this, right? Look at the dump in terms of ETH value. Of course, USD value, but ETH value, right? So it seems like blue chip index isn't doing so well. I mean, it's better than a few days ago, really. But then slowly climbing up and just going back down, right? So, LFG news. Adidas unveiled the Genesis digital wearable collection called Virtual Gear. So this is the Adidas first own NFT collection of wearables. And they were saying that it's gonna be interoperable, but there isn't really a lot of specific there. Where past Genesis sold out by Dutch auction, the final listing price was 17.25 ETH. So, money is still in the space. It really depends on which project they buy. But Pudgy Penguins team up with Breakfast Club Kellogg's NFT project to bring Pudgy, right? NFT Go, they actually have a browser extension for Twitter for you to do analysis of the profile picture and also the NFT price and stuff like that. So I'm gonna share more about the NFT space. So Pudgy Penguin, we just saw this, right? So what happened is that they partnered with Kellogg's. So this is Mr. Frosty's, right? So they came up with this trailer. So now one of the Pudgy Penguin characters is gonna be featuring Kellogg's cereal box, right? So after Adidas did this, now even Pudgy Penguin is doing this, right? So the floor price of Pudgy Penguin kind of went up a bit. Before I saw it was 2 point something, now it's 2.7 something. Not sure if it retraced. But at the same time, it seems like they're announcing something with Uniswap, right? Uniswap NFT. So definitely keep an eye on that. Adidas, they announced the Virtual Gear. So this is the genesis of the Adidas Virtual Gear. This is a virtual wearable that you could wear for digital avatar. So electric mix of impossible silhouette, blah, blah, blah. The first NFT collection of wearables, a new interoperable product category, Virtual Gear accelerates the collective drive towards swinging in Web3. Adidas community-based member-first open metaverse project. So what does it mean? Who can wear these virtual wearables, right? Looking ahead, not finalized a series of impossible design, blah, 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 blah. Like the crystal, blah, 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 you can run into a wall with it, okay? Still don't really know where is this supported, but looks nice, I think. But where is it supported, right? They didn't really say which metaverse could be worn, right? So it will be interesting to see how they do integrations and how this is really like supporting the open metaverse flag. And it will be interesting, right? Like CloneX has digital avatars, but with CloneX under Nike, wear Adidas wearable, right? So we can see if they are really opening the whole idea of interoperability, right? Even brand avatars, whether they will support other brands avatar as well in the Web3 space, which is different than the Web2 space. So we really have to see. Next one, Valhalla is a very hype project. Alex Lin, he came out, did a YouTube video, talk about his project mint. So the mint price is gonna be 0.5. So a lot of people are debating, are saying that, it's very expensive for a bear market like this. But they do have DC funding from Pantera Capital and Comcast Venture. So unfortunately, I'm not in any of the whitelists or whatever. So I'm just curious. I'll be on the sidelines and see if it could pull another Gagaku, right? But 0.5 ETH mint price. Well, to each their own. No comment on that. Each person have their own financial situation. So if it's expensive or not, it's each person's approach, right? Because we just saw where Pass was able to get a Dutch auction of 17 ETH, right? So people can pay good money if they think something is bullish, right? So, of course, not a project for our APP. If you know what is our APP, then you would know this is not just a random statement, okay? So moving on, never fade IP and content production. So yesterday we kind of said that Azuki is partnering with Webbo, Bybit, and it seems like they created a persona called Lay the Lightning Azuki, right? Number 8494. So it's interesting to see how they are now developing personas. They're now developing each Azuki into using the official way for partnerships, right? So yeah, good day for Azuki holders. So that's it, guys. I remember, if you like the content, remember to like and subscribe. This is your host Non-Fungible TC signing out.